the education system isn't changed. Right. Security analyst Yaakov Lapin, as always, appreciate you being here in studio. Thank you so much. And now to the United States. Fractures in the Republican Party. President Donald Trump has publicly called it quits with one of his most loyal supporters, now labeling Marjorie Taylor Greene wacky Marjorie. The U.S. leader saying he would endorse a challenger against the Georgia Republican in next year's midterms if the right person runs. Now, tensions have been simmering for months as the woman who once was seen as the embodiment of the slogan, Make America Great Again, slammed Republican leaders during the government shutdown and took issue with the president's focus on foreign policy. She took to social media to say Trump had attacked her and lied about her, adding that the issue of the Epstein Files is what sent him over the edge. Here's more from the president.
So, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not anyway, she is a very different thinking than I have. Something happened to her over the last period of a month or two where she changed, I think, politically. I think that her constituents aren't going to be happy. Already, I have people calling me. They want to challenge her to a race in her district in Georgia. And, that's too bad. She's lost a wonderful conservative reputation. But when she says, don't go overseas, if I didn't go overseas, we might be in a war right now with China.
And still with the story, Marjorie Taylor Greene also brought Israel into the conversation when she spoke to CNN on Sunday. Take a listen.
We saw Jeffrey Epstein with ties to Ehud Barak. We saw him making business deals with them, also business deals that involved the Israeli government, and seems to have led into their intel agencies. And I think the right question is to ask is, was Jeffrey Epstein working for Israel?
Well, that is quite a question. For more, we welcome journalist Dan Raviv, author of the new book about the Mossad, Target Iran, and he joins us from Washington. Dan, good to see you. So Marjorie Taylor Greene has been one of the most outspoken defenders of President Donald Trump. Now it seems he's had enough of her rhetoric and her criticism, including of his foreign policy. What is going on? Your insights.
Well, it's something that might change, so let's keep that in mind. If she returns more to the fold and seems more loyal to Donald Trump, then he might be warm toward her again, but right now it's freezing cold. And that Israel angle is fascinating, and frankly, it's not good for U.S. Israel relations. That the so-called MAGA wing, Make America Great Again, of the Republican Party is not very interested in foreign affairs or foreign alliances. They think that President Trump spent too much time on foreign topics, including support of Israel, ending the Gaza war, getting the 20 living hostages out. It seems the MAGA wing was unimpressed by that, and President Trump might need them. So it's not a good thing. And the remarks that she made about the notorious Jeffrey Epstein, the late Jeffrey Epstein, linking him with Israel, that's not good also. It means that many conservatives in this country will also ask that question. Epstein's a bad guy. And if she's linking him with Israel, not good if you want Americans to like Israel.
And talking of Jeffrey Epstein and those files, now after months of delay and despite much resistance, the House will vote this week on whether to release more files from the case of the convicted sex offender. And many are predicting a large number of Republicans in the House could break with the president and back the release of the documents. How do you see this unfolding?
Yeah, that's remarkable. A lot of the conservative Republicans during the 2024 election campaign, President Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, had said that the Epstein files should be released, right? Members of the MAGA wing of the party thought that there's something going on, that members of America's elites must have been trafficking underage girls for sexual purposes, and they want to know the full truth. Well, when some of the Epstein files, his old emails, were released, Donald Trump was mentioned often in negative ways, including Epstein having written that Trump, quote, knew about the girls. Now, Trump says that's all false. Epstein was no friend of his. But conservatives apparently will vote in Congress this coming week to release every document the U.S. government has about Epstein, Trump is against that. And some conservatives are saying, what does our president try to hide? Democrats are enjoying this, of course, any sign that the MAGA coalition is fracturing.
But that is the question. Why not just release these Epstein files? There's so much pressure. There were so many promises in campaign times for this to happen. Why not make it happen right now?
Well, the suspicion, of course, is that Donald Trump is afraid of what's in the files. I'm certainly not suggesting that he did anything illegal or was involved in underage sexual relations. No, I'm not saying that, but there could be other things in the papers that he would find embarrassing. So instead, he's changing the focus now to former President Bill Clinton and other Democrats who might have been involved deeply with Epstein. And so he ordered the Justice Department to investigate that, Bill Clinton and others. And the Justice Department is doing so. And so I don't know how Trump's going to get out of this one, because it is a big issue in this country, more than I ever expected, right? Whatever the late Jeffrey Epstein was up to, Americans are that interested in. Well, now that President Trump wants to block release of all the files, we really are interested. What's in them?
And of course, Ghislaine Maxwell, the girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, is serving a sentence for her role in trafficking teenage girls for her boyfriend, apparently getting special treatment as well. She's denied that the U.S. president was involved in or knew of Epstein's wrongdoing. How does this help the president right now, briefly?
As you know, Benita, Ghislaine Maxwell is indeed in prison. She got, however, moved to a much easier penal colony, in effect. So she's having an easy time in the federal prison system. And President Trump has said, yeah, he'd have to look at it. Maybe he possibly would commute her sentence or pardon her. Someone who worked with Epstein in sex trafficking. Hard to believe. She might be saying things to make Trump happy. And so when questioned by a Justice Department official very close to Trump, she said that President Trump was always a gentleman and did nothing wrong. The Democrats, of course, don't believe it, and some Republicans are starting to wonder also.
Of course, thinking of the survivors of sexual assault at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein, this must be a very difficult time for them right now. The whole of the United States will be watching, the whole world will be watching. We wait to see how it all unfolds. Dan Raviv, thank you so much, as always, for being with us, author of the new book about the Mossad, Target